And so this is Father Fahrenheit with a song called Buoyancy. Let's have a listen. Thank you, Robert. Yeah, totally digging this song. It's got a very good feel to it. It's keeping me moving. From the mix standpoint, I feel like the guitars are very muddy. A lot of low end coming in from those, and then just the overall project seems distorted somewhat. I don't know, it could be a clipping thing, or like when you went and was able to master it, increase the gain, maybe it just went a little too high.
I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm sure you'll be fine. You're out of your fucking mind. I could betray you.
Really good voice.
And I'm sure you'll be fine.
I really like this part of the song.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Such a nice contrast to the before this part. Really good use of delay and reverb on your vocals. It's I feel the spaciousness of those vocals coming through everything else. All right, so that was Buoyancy by Father Fahrenheit. It's over there on YouTube. So because it is on YouTube, I can't add it to my Spotify playlist. So we need to get that on Spotify. What are we waiting for there, Jackson? I keep wanting to call you Patrick for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I know a Patrick Mills. But no, really, really cool song. And the only critique I really have on that was the way that the guitars are mixed. It just the guitars themselves were kind of distracting to me, just the way that they were sitting in the mix. But it seemed like everything else was mixed very, very well. I don't know what happened with the guitars there. It may have just been a need for an EQ situation, and maybe we just went the wrong direction with it. I don't know. But really liked the song, felt really good. and really like that part where it changed and kind of contrasted the rest of the song. So yeah, just pay attention to how all of the instruments sound together. When you're mixing a project, don't go in there and solo out your instruments as you're doing the EQ, because you need to EQ in reference to how the whole song is sounding. So I see a lot of people will solo out their instrument and they'll EQ it, make it sound really good, and then they just unsolo it and it's just in the mix. When you're playing around with EQ on instruments, do it with reference to the rest of the mix as well. Soloing out an instrument can be a good idea to go in and find certain frequencies that are being problematic if you can't quite figure it out in the mix of the whole song. But just always make sure that you are listening to your instrument with the other instruments. So you use GarageBand. That's cool. I started off on GarageBand and probably made this switch to Logic. It's been less than a year. I wanted to get as good as I could at GarageBand before I started causing myself option overload. But there are a lot of things that Logic is capable of and these other DAWs are capable of that GarageBand just falls short of. And there's a lot of workarounds to kind of fill in the gap. But as far as workflow goes, for me, Logic was a great step in the right direction to be able to do a lot more with my recording and mixing. Nothing wrong with GarageBand. Continue to use it. Continue to learn as much as you can about it. And then when you're ready, look at moving on to something that just has some more options and things that you can do. I've had 112 songs reviewed so far that are on Spotify. So I've reviewed other ones on YouTube and SoundCloud and stuff like that. But as far as Spotify goes, that's my main source of streaming. And I've reviewed 112 songs. So all 112 of those are divided into 5 playlists. And those 5 playlists are just similar genres on each one. So if you don't like rap, there's a different playlist for you. If you don't like pop punk, there's a different playlist for you, so on and so forth. So anything that you have heard on Devin Song Reviews is in one of those playlists, and everything we listen to today that is on Spotify will get added to those playlists before the day is over. So if you are not distributing your music on all of the streaming platforms, you really should be doing that. I recommend DistroKid. That's what I use. And I think it's like $20 a year. And it makes it super, super simple to upload your music. And they disperse it throughout the world and the internet. And they also are in charge of collecting your money for you. So it makes it super simple, easy way to distribute your music. So if you're not using a distribution service, go look at DistroKid. There is a link in my bio as well for, it's just an affiliate link. I think it saves you like 7%, which is, 7% of $20 isn't much. But if you want to sign up for DistroKid, I highly recommend it. You can find that link in my bio. If you make music for your own therapy, that's fine too. But just remember that somewhere out there are people like you that your music could be therapeutic for as well. And that's kind of how I look at it, is I make music for myself, but I also know that there's people out there like me who I know would enjoy what I'm doing and maybe get something out of it. And so there's nothing wrong with keeping it to yourself, but as a musician, it's really good to let your music go out there and help those people that you don't even realize need your music. This was somebody that joined us on last week's live stream, and we listened to one of their songs while we were doing the live stream, and then he actually submitted another song during the week. So this is Emery with a song called Endgame.
I just wanna tell you that my days are close to ending. I just wanna tell you that I'm tired and done pretending. I've tried the same things over in my head and all inside my dreams. They all felt the same way that I do. They all think that they know you. What if my days were coming to an end? Because I'm tired and I'm lonesome. I'm tired of pretending that everything's okay when it's really not. 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 When it's really not.
Well, that was a tough one. Wow. Whew, I don't know about y'all, but that gave me some goosebumps. I didn't want to talk during that one. So, wow. Yeah, in a song like that, being able to connect to the lyrics is so important. I'm definitely a lyrics first person. I try to design my music around what it's about, because I want that connection. And music itself, you can feel a melody and you can feel the energy that comes from a song, but to truly immerse yourself into a song, you've got to be able to hear and understand and grab onto what they're singing about. And that was so well done. The song was so perfectly simple so that we could feel what the song was about, and almost feel the pain and what's going on with him while he's writing the song. And so it didn't need a huge production. It didn't need a bunch of instruments. It was simple, and it was what it needed to be to get the feel of the song across. But wow, man, that was a tough one. Really, really good song. I will probably be listening to that again. And I don't know. I don't really have anything negative to say about it. One thing that I may have done different, just with my style, is there at the end, just to keep things moving, and it kind of dropped out just a little bit and kind of just simplified to end the song. The song is 2 minutes and 14 seconds long. I think I would have added another 45 seconds of just like instrumental. Maybe bring it up and just go really heavy, but very spacious. Either way, I think I would have just added an instrumental just to sit on the song so that everybody listening could just feel it for a little bit longer and really just be there. So, but excellent song. I really like that. So let's check out Gingy Boy with an instrumental called ADHD. ADHD by Gingy Boy. Yeah, it has I think it was about 30 seconds in where it was like that static was just like automating volume in. Took quite a bit of time. But so if I was going to make a song or an instrumental and really wanted to really go hard on this ADHD thing, the one problem I have with this song or this instrumental, whatever you want to call it, everything felt very up the middle. And I think we missed the opportunity to use panning and spacing to really portray what ADHD feels like. Now the whole song, as far as like the mix, like the EQ, it felt very underwater, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's not necessarily a mistake in this case, but I just think we missed the opportunity to really use some panning automation, like throw some stuff over here on the right and then pan it over to the left and just have things going on that are distracting, right? Typically in music, you don't want things to be overly distracting. With a song called ADHD, I think you could have been more distracting than what that was. I'm not really sure why we needed 30 seconds to bring in that static noise. But, you know, I don't know what it's like to be in Gingy Boy's head and know what that ADHD feels like. But yeah, I just felt like everything was way too up the middle. I think we just missed the opportunity to do some fun stuff with spacing. You should definitely use spacing any chance you get. And with something that's trying to portray ADHD, especially an instrumental, instrumental is relying very heavily on filling in that space because you don't have vocals to carry it along. But still cool. I would have just done some things different. But overall, fair enough. All right, so let's do another song submission. Just keep working down the list. So this artist is named Jesse DeSorcy, and the song is called Old Lucifer. And so again, I like these submitted ones because I ask for like give me a description of what the song is. And so I always like reading what their description is, but still kind of listening to see if I can come up with my own way of relating. But he said, I wrote the song Old Lucifer after receiving an opportunity to be considered for a big record deal. The song walks you through how I believe I would feel if I had gone through with it. Not every record deal has your best interest involved. Which really hits home with me because, again, what we're doing here and with some friends of mine, musicians that I've come to know very well, is we are trying to change what the music industry looks like. And I know I'm nobody, and that's a tall task. But I truly believe that community is the new industry. And record labels are not as necessary as they used to be to get you off the ground and get going. Record deals don't always have your interest in mind. They have the label's interest in mind. You are a unit of output, or a unit of input, actually, a unit to make money for them. So that's not always going to be your best interest. There are things that labels can do for you that independent musicians just can't do. But independent musicians can do a lot more than they used to be able to do. So I like that this kind of sits close to home with that, and really how I feel about things and why I do things like this. But this is Jesse DeSorcy with a song called Old Lucifer.
There's no money to be made in this city. It's overpopulated and the people, they don't even wave. Getting out of Dodge was a dream that always looked so pretty. The bitter part of me is starting to see that I made a mistake. And And the devil makes me play, pulls the strings while I just pick 'em. I sign my life away under the terms of his conditions. These city lights ain't half as bright as the beacon that guides me home. Oh, Lucifer, he owns my soul.
All right, so we have another one of these sort of more simple songs. You know, nice little acoustic feel to it. And just like the last one, the lyrics are coming through very, very well. Has a good melody that I'm enjoying. I like the raspiness of his voice too.
A handful of decisions that I'm gonna regret. But I sign my name on the dotted line. And the devil makes me play, pulls the strings while I just pick 'em. I sign my life away under the terms of his conditions.
So one thing I'm hearing, if you listen really closely to the reverb on his voice, one of the things that could have been done just to make that cleaner is go in and EQ the reverb to take out that sort of raspiness. Would have just given that reverb a cleaner feel to it. I think it would have actually made like the raspiness of the voice actually sound even better.
And all this fame and glory, the same old story, you're likely to never win.
So I got a little bit of a harmony in the background. I was just thinking, like, right, if the dynamics were going to build up again like it's doing now, I would increase the amount of backup vocals and harmonies.
Pulls the strings while I just pick 'em. I sign my life away under the terms of his conditions. These city lights ain't half as bright as the beacon that guides me home. Oh, Lucifer, he owns my soul. Oh, Lucifer, he owns my soul. Now I just wanna go back home.
Very cool. Very cool. Definitely, definitely sort of following the basic like structure of a song in that sense. And you know, I do talk about basic principles quite often because I'm not like a 20-year veteran of a recording engineer. So I tend to just stick to basic principles. And the reason I do that is because what I'm talking about is not going to be what everybody needs to do all the time. What I'm talking about basic principles, it's more to have to do with these would be the principles that would help you have more people listen to your music. So you should never take what I say and just be like, oh, that's definitely going to happen from now on. But so that song just followed the basic structure of what's going to get people to listen. And even like to the tagging on the end where he kind of repeated that, I almost knew that was coming. And so there's that comfort in that you've heard that, you just may not realize that you are. There's that structure that you've listened to of all the songs on the radio and everything you've listened to your whole life. So, not to be funny, but I've been watching Supernatural lately. It'd be a perfect track on an episode. So I don't think I've ever watched Supernatural. I know my wife watches it. And I think that's one of those shows where she's always like, you've got to listen to the soundtrack because it always has really good music, if I'm thinking of the right one. So if that's the case, awesome. A very, very good song. Very simple. As far as an acoustic song goes, it didn't need to be overly complicated. There's just some elements that I would have tried to bring in just to keep the song moving along. Like I said, I was sitting there going, okay, if this song is going to build up again, a great way to do that is they need to hit it with some harmonies. And like 10 seconds later, he comes in, he brings in a harmony, and it sounded really good. So I like that they did that. I would have just added another one. And that's it. Thanks for, one, thanks for submitting music, and two, thanks for hanging out with us. Really love doing what I do, but this doesn't exist if it's not for people like you submitting music. So, yeah, so thank you for being a part of this today. So Jacob sent me this song and said, would love to hear what you think about my song. It's called All That We Got, and it is an electronic indie song that he wrote after finding the motivation to keep going after going through a deep, dark depression. Hope you enjoy. So I'm not sure if I got a chance to listen to this yet, but that's Jacob's motivation behind this, which is always fun to know going into it, so you can hear that, and let's see if it comes through. So this is Jacob Brockus, who is here in the chat, submitted a song called All That We Got. Very chill start to the song. You already got me drawn in. I feel like I'm missing low end, but I also feel like you might be bringing that in just a second. There it is. So I was hearing like some pumping motion on the kick. I don't know if that was if this is a sample on the kick or if like you did the compression that way on purpose. But I like it. So I'm not a huge fan of taking away the low end right there. I think to change it up, you should have just kept something. Once you bring in that low end and that kick, I don't want it to go away again. See, that's that motion that I was talking about earlier. That's a good way to utilize the space you have. Right on. So that was Jacob Brockus with All That We Got. Sinclair is in the house. Hey, Sinclair. Welcome. Furious is here with us too. Thanks for coming back. So Jacob, really, really cool. I'm not, as far as like the music goes, I felt what you were wanting to come across, but as far as lyrics go, I had a little bit of a hard time grasping on to what was being sung. Is that the right past tense of sing? I'm not sure. But like it sounded really good. I just, with all the effects and everything that was going on, it was hard to like determine exactly what was being sung. I don't know. But yeah, so what I was saying, I kind of felt like we were going to have that low end come in. And so that was a great way of building dynamics and keeping the song moving. I don't know that I would have waited. I think it was nearly a minute. It was like 45 seconds to a minute before we had that low end come in. Maybe a little bit too long before something is given to us. So maybe you could have just brought in just a lighter version of like the kick and whatnot. Just something to feel a little bit better. The problem is most people are not going to go a minute into the song. They're not going to give you that time if they don't know you or hadn't heard you before. So you do kind of have to do something within the first minute. And then like once that part repeated later on after the hook, you took the low end away again. And I just feel like once you give me the low end, don't take it away for that long period of time. So once it's there, leave it with us. Even if you have to dial it back, just don't take it away completely again. But really cool song. Like I said, great use of space, and there was movement. I always like when I hear compressors used, or this might just be a sample that a lot of people use that is compressed in a way that kind of just brings it in and out like it's breathing. So I love when that bass or that kick is almost feeling like it's breathing. So very, very cool use of all that. So again, thank you so much for submitting that. And I hope something that I heard and gave you is something that you can use maybe next time, and just things you can pay attention to. So one thing I've noticed throughout this process of doing Devin song reviews is musicians started asking if they could send me their music before they release it. So maybe you can just get another set of ears to give you a critique before it's released to the world. So anybody that is a part of this community and part of what we're doing here, you are welcome to do that. If you would like me to ever listen to your music before you release it, so I can just give you some mix feedback before it's finalized, I would love the opportunity to do that. I'd be happy to do it. The problem with independent music is you are responsible for writing and recording, producing, mixing, mastering, promoting. You have to do all the things, right? The problem with that is you can get very emotionally attached to mixed decisions like we've talked about. You can get very attached, and you can start to get like numb to your song, that it's always good to bring in somebody else to listen to it before you are done with it, right? So if anybody would like to send me stuff before they release it, you can do that. I would be happy to help. But this is Henry Morton singing Goodbye Time over on YouTube.
Your life, you say you need a change. Gone all the dreams we've seen come true. Mean anything. Say it's different now, and you keep staring at the had known our love would come to this, we could have saved our hearts to hurt and wasted years. Well, it's been fun. What else can I say? If the feeling's gone, words won't stop you anyway. If being free is worth what you leave behind, and if it's too late for love to change your mind, then it's goodbye time. Goodbye, baby.
All right, so that was Henry Morton and singing Goodbye Time. So in the description, apparently that's a Blake Shelton song, Goodbye Time. So as far as a review, I can't really review the songwriting because it wasn't Henry's song. I can't really review the mix because it was just a live video of him playing. What I can review is that was a really, really good voice. You know, the guitar the way he was playing it was, you know, pretty simple. It's exactly what you would expect if somebody was just sitting at a coffee shop or a bar with a acoustic guitar and singing. So, really, really good voice. I really like that. I didn't know the song. I don't listen to a lot of country music, even though my accent may make you believe that I like country music. I don't. Or I just don't listen to it very often. So I was really impressed by the song, and then saw in the description that it was a Blake Shelton song. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So it's not that I dislike country music. It's just not my thing. But there are some really good songs. That was a good song, and it was well done by Mr. Henry Morton. But let's check out our new friend here, My Synth Tropics, over on SoundCloud with a song called Sick.
falls down from the pedestal. Maybe hypocrisy is the pandemic. I'm surrounded by idiots.
Okay, My Scent Tropics with a song called Sick. Very interesting, very unique. I get the vibe of like 90s grunge off of that, and I'm here for it. So definitely some mixing and some recording techniques that that are somewhat lacking. Just, but that's okay. Again, I always say that everybody is on a different point in their journey with this stuff. But, definitely a lot of stuff that can be worked on, a lot of potential there. So focusing more on like the vibe of the song and how it made me feel in the song itself, really had a very unique vibe to it. Like I said, very almost grungy, still good. I mean, is that song going to be for everybody? No, but it's for somebody that's going to be their favorite song. There's just a lot of stuff to work on. Just keep learning, keep, just watching videos, figuring out as much as you can, and just take it step by step. Starts with a really good recording, and, then it just turns into, make sure you get the timing right as you're recording, and that will make it a whole lot easier on the mixing side. And then when you're mixing, just listen for all of the different instruments and make sure that they are working together, and nothing is sticking out or getting in the way. So you'll get there. Keep working at it. Thank you for sharing that. It takes a lot of guts, y'all. Like, people to share their music on here. Not everybody is willing to do it. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that with me. And definitely let's link up and let's get the other song on for next week, because I want to hear what that sounds like too. This show is a weekly show, live streamed here. The replay goes up on YouTube, but it is a place to showcase independent musicians' music, do reviews, and then every week there's a musician that comes on here and I ask some questions and we just have a chat. And so it's a great way to promote your music if you want to be a part of this. So if you are a musician, you can just simply submit the form for me to do a review. If you want to come on the show to promote yourself, let me know that too. I would love to have some musicians lined up for the coming weeks. One of the things that I talked about last week is I was off work the week before last, and so I challenged myself to write, record, and release a song in 1 week, which may not sound like that would be very hard, but I'm very much a perfectionist, and I'm very emotionally attached to the music that I make. And so for me to do that in a week was a big challenge for myself. The challenge was, don't be a perfectionist. Let the things that most people don't hear just go and release a song. I just wanted to see if I could do it. So I started it on a Monday, and I finished it up last Sunday, and I released it. I submitted it to DistroKid Sunday night, and it was live on Monday morning. And so it was an interesting journey for me. I usually spend a whole lot more time on this. I usually bring in other session musicians. So those of you that don't know J-Rod, he is my go-to drummer. He's out in California. My buddy Darren, whose handle here is Hoffel, he is in New Hampshire, and he typically records bass for me. And then I think like 2/3 of my songs I have Jesse, who is a trumpet player living in Nashville. And so these are my buddies that, I kind of work with them. They record their parts and send it to me, and then I finish the song. But in a week, I could not rely on them in this case. So I had to do everything myself. So I kept it an acoustic song and tried to simplify it. But one, I wanted to challenge myself to do it, not be a perfectionist, and see how well I could fill up the space with an acoustic song. So I did that, and so I'm going to play that for you guys. If you haven't heard it already, I'm doing a little self-promotion today, if you don't mind. So this is a song, again, written, recorded, and released in 1 week. I did everything myself. The song is called Distance, and see if you can figure out what it's about. I'll let you figure that out. Hey Autumn, welcome back.
As the lies roll off your lips, like secret habits that you claim that you could quit. You let it go, but it didn't leave. In every effort
Just got your submission, Brent. Thank you.
it seems so naive. Distance is spaces from familiar faces, between where you are and where you want to be. She caught a glimpse of herself while imitating everyone else, and nearly dropped the brush as she was painting on harsh, lustful lies like the pain is gone.
I'm also curious too, do y'all listen to this show through your phone, or are y'all wearing headphones? Because that would change up the whole concept of what I'm doing here. I hope you are at least wearing like earbuds.
You bound them safe and lost the key, and lost your sense of who you first sought out to be. Distance is spaces from familiar faces, between where you are and where you want to be.
Hey, thanks, Brent.
She caught a glimpse
It's my 1 week
of
challenge. It's not
herself,
perfect. It's not my best. I'll tell you that much.
everyone else.
I did my best in a week.
Dropped the brush as she was painting on harsh, lustful lines like the pain is gone.
Again, I was really trying to challenge myself also to see how well I could fill in space on an acoustic song. So there's a good bit of things happening that if you're not wearing headphones, you might miss out on it. Because you have to mix for like
I see
people listening on their phone, but you know, it's really a song like this, you need headphones.
There's no need to hide the strength that you found in your scars. I see you for who you want to be. Let it find you, and you'll finally set it free. She caught a glimpse of herself while imitating everyone else, and nearly dropped the brush as she was painting on harsh, lustful lines like the pain is gone. Glimpse of herself, imitating everyone else. She caught a glimpse of
I'm Falls. What's up, man? Thanks for coming by. We are just finishing up listening to my new song. I noticed that that synth I use on the ending there sounds so much like the beginning of Blink's All the Small Things, you know, as it like comes in. Really is what it sounds like. So Sinclair says, is it about finding who you are? No, not necessarily, unless so it's more of a narrative for like I pictured a girl like putting on her makeup in the mirror, and so that's kind of where the line came from. Like she caught a glimpse of herself while imitating everyone else. Is that she's like trying to put on this face to be like everybody else, and in the moment of like looking in the mirror and putting her makeup on, she caught a glimpse of herself in there. And so that's kind of what the song revolves around. Not being somebody on social media, like everybody puts up a front, like everything's great and you're this person on social media. And more often than not, like that's not a very good depiction of who they are in real life. So that's kind of what it's about.